Kyle Walker picks between Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. Britain's Got Talent finalist Sonny Green on his viral England song, and Spain set up a mouth-watering semi-final clash with France. Gentlemen, great to have you back in the Proper Football Daily studio, and also great to be joined by England legend, former Three Lions right back Kyle Walker. Kyle, Norway is awaiting England in the quarter-final in Miami. Erling Haaland has been the talk of the town. He's a teammate or former teammate of yours and a friend of yours. Just give us an idea, what was it like when you very first met him? And I'm not sure whether you played for him before, maybe for City against Dortmund?
Yeah, well, we played him in Dortmund in the Champions League for City. And, you know, obviously you hear about this young man that's breaking onto the scene and he's scoring goals left, right and centre. And you kind of think, like, what's all the fuss about? Obviously, it's no disrespect to the German league or anything like that, but you kind of think, okay, well, the Champions League is where we're going to see what he's all about. And he's proved me wrong, and he well, not proved me wrong, but proved everyone right, that everyone was thinking about him, that he's just a great goal scorer.
Tell us a bit more about that game then, Kyle.
I think you know what, there was actually an argument between Gundo and Jude Bellingham in the game. And Erling Haaland ran over and obviously separated. Not too sure if he'd known that he was coming to City or whatnot, but it's kind of a famous clip on Instagram that you can see Erling Haaland running over to protect Jude Bellingham.
What about when he became your teammate, Carl? What was your first impression of him then in training?
Obviously, Man City got him as a bargain. You know, he ran his contract down at Dortmund and they had to pay X amount of pounds for him, and he's been his weight in gold, 100%. Very humble, very down to earth. He knows what he's there to do. He has a vision and a dream to obviously achieve personally, but a great teammate and, you know, a good friend.
Was he a bit shy when he turned up? Because he had that kind of persona that he was a bit reluctant with the cameras and stepping forward when he first arrived?
I think with him, he's kind of let the football do his talking. I think now he's coming more out of himself and probably more in the public domain with his, you know, cheeky post and his Snapchat and this, that and the other. But it's the way that the world's working. But one thing that he doesn't do is he doesn't let that outside, I'm going to say, noise affect his footballing ability.
What's his sense of humour like then, Kyle? Because he seems to lead a lot of the pranks and the jokes and all that around the training ground, and certainly in a lot of the content that we see of him.
It's very easy when you're leading the pranks, when you're doing well and scoring goals. I think that, you know, one thing that I can say with Erling is the maturity he has for looking after himself, whether that's, you know, recovery, ice bath, eating the right foods, doing everything that he can do to maximise his performance. He does that in abundance, and it's a great credit to himself. Obviously, he's got his dad that is a big influence in him and pushes him really well in the right direction on certain things. And he's to let his football do the talking. Obviously, his dad was a great player, but his dad can't play in his shoes, so he needs to obviously go out himself and play on the pitch.
What was the most challenging part of playing against Erling in training, Kyle? Did you have any tricks to get the better of him?
Well, I was lucky enough to train in small areas with him. I don't think me saying this about Erling Haaland, that he likes to operate in big areas. Now, whenever he was training, it was very rare that we'd do 11v11 on a full-size pitch. And that's where Erling comes alive. You need to make sure that, you know, one's tight to him and one's covering. And, you know, don't give him a sniff, because I think you see at the game against Brazil, it's a touch out of his feet and it's a shot with so much power that you've got a great goalkeeper like Alisson, and he's coming against a defender with Gabriel, and his power just beats them. So it's about getting tight, not getting too tight, because he'll use you and roll you, and just about being intelligent. I think the worst games that I've seen, unfortunately, for Erling is come against the players that have used the head more than the physicality.
How so? So can you give us an example?
Well, I remember coming against Wolves, let's say, for example. Now, Wolves are, you know, no disrespect to Wolves, not the greatest team, but they marked him so well. I think it was Craig Dawson, I can't remember the other one. They were so tied to him. Obviously 2v1'd him. The ball, they wasn't really bothered about the ball. We put the ball wide, they put the ball in the box, two around him, made it so difficult that he couldn't create the space. And it kind of played him out of the game. And when you're looking, I think what Erling has for him, where he's so not bothered about the ball, you know, he takes so many few touches but scores goals, it can also be a detriment to him, where you want him to be involved in, you kind of need that extra man at the top line to make the sets, especially when we was at Manchester City. And I think it's just about getting us tight, but kind of playing with your head and not your physical attributes.
Kyle, some players you can get in their ear a little bit. Other players that just winds them up and makes them better. What's the best way for England to approach that with Erling Haaland?
I was a big believer in you respect players, but you don't worry about players. I've said it before about Kylian Mbappe when everyone was talking about the game when I played France in Qatar, and it's the big thing, Kyle Walker against Mbappe, blah blah blah. I was like, listen, I respect him because he's a great player, but I'm not going to roll out a red carpet for him. I'm playing for my country just as much as he's playing for his country, and we're going to war. And I think even like with Mark, who's a teammate, with Ez or John, who's an ex-teammate, you respect him. You obviously appreciate the powers that he's got and the physical attributes that he's got, but you don't roll the red carpet out for him. If you need to get physical, you get physical. If you need to, give him a bit of banter here and there to take him off his game, you do whatever you need to do for England to cross that line. And it's kind of a dog-eat-dog.
Okay, well, you've only got a choice of two. It's Erling Haaland or Harry Kane. Which one are you going for?
I'd probably go for... I'm going to say Harry, but it's very, very... I take it either one, but I just think for Harry's all-round game, I'd have to get runners off Harry, but I'd probably say Harry Kane just because of the variety of things that he can do.
Tell us a little bit about Martin Ødegaard then, Carl. What was he like to play against? Obviously, he's sort of cut from a bit more of a technical cloth than Erling Haaland is, but what was he like as an opponent?
Listen, he's a good player. He's played for Real Madrid. He's played for Real Madrid and he's won a Premier League at Arsenal, and he's been fantastic for the last 3 seasons. Probably going into the World Cup this season has not been the Ødegaard that we've known of the previous season. That's me giving a fair judgment, but he's still a quality player. He's still a quality player and he's a leader. And he's a leader on that pitch for Norway. I think they lean on him and Erling. I think Sander Berge is probably very underrated. A good steady player. I've watched him a lot at Sheffield United. Obviously he was at Burnley before to then, moved to Fulham, and he's a good Premier League player. Gets around, very physical, a good size on him. And they've got good players in good areas. I think the keeper pulled off wonderful saves the other day against Brazil, saving a penalty as well. So listen, it's going to be a tough game. I think now, like I just said before, a lot of people was talking about the atmosphere and the altitude and everything against Mexico, but now we're talking about individuals that can hurt England. But England put in the same performance as they did against Mexico and weather the storm in certain moments. I think it will be a victory for England, but it's not going to be as easy as we think.
Kyle, how difficult is it after a game like Mexico, so much emotion, and to bring the team back down to earth and get focused now on this Norway game?
Well, I believe that they've had 2 days off from what I've seen from, the social media and stuff like that. And I think that was important. I think it's probably rare in a competition to be given days off like that. Of course, you might get a day off here and there for a family day or something like that, but 2 full days off I think it's well done from the manager again. I think the lads need a mental switch off.
Gents, absolutely brilliant to have Carl join us as always, and I'm very, very excited about this next guest indeed. You will know why as soon as we've watched this clip.
Whoa, we got Bellingham, it's coming on, we're telling them we're Englishmen in New York. Whoa, we got Harry Kane, he's gonna score again, we're Englishmen in New York.
Lads, I know you've heard me singing and humming that song almost relentlessly for the past week or so, so I'm delighted to say that joining us is Britain's Got Talent finalist. He got a golden buzzer from Simon Cowell through from the semis into the final. Sonny Green, that's his song, We're Telling Them, and it's gone viral all over the place. It's just outside the UK top 40 sales charts, and people up and down the country in England and over here in the USA have been doing the viral TikTok dance. Sonny, great to have you joining us. Just tell us a little bit about the song, and did you know when you came up with it that it was going to be such a viral sensation and people up and down England and across the US like me will be singing it relentlessly from the moment they wake up in the morning to the moment they go to sleep?
We're Englishmen in New York.
New York.
Whoa, we got Harry Kane.
He's gonna score again. We're Englishmen in New York. Yeah, mate. You know what? I'll be really honest with you. I was like, this is gonna be massive. But I always say that about like songs and stuff that I do and that. But I didn't. Yeah, I'm just grateful how it's the fire and how it's caught on, and the amount of people that have done it. You know, over 8,000 people have done videos to that song and done the dance and everything. So yeah, it's pretty mental at the moment.
Well, I was trying to persuade the lads to do the dance with me up the top of the Rockefeller Centre today. I'm not sure, gents, if you've ever done a TikTok dance before. Either of you, have you?
Not sober, I haven't.
You can give us the shoulder though, chaps, can't you? You can give us a little wee. Come on, boys. Come on.
Sonny, just tell us a little bit about your journey first of all, before we talk about the song and England, of course. You're on Britain's Got Talent. You're from my neck of the woods, Southend-on-Sea, just 10 minutes from where I grew up. I've already been accused of Essex bias by getting you on, but tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I've always done a bit of like poetry and music and stuff since I was quite young, and it's all took off really over the last year or so, and then going on Britain's Got Talent obviously threw me into the spotlight quite a bit, and it was really good. I enjoyed it, and yeah, like I'll be honest with you, because my poetry and stuff was quite deep. Everywhere I went, everyone was going, oh, like, you know, you made me cry and everything like that. And it was cool, and I don't mind being emotional, but at the same time, I want people to have fun, and I want people to dance, and I want, like, I'm not always such a, like, my poetry's quite serious, but in general, I'm not really that serious. I'm quite happy-go-lucky kind of person. So that's why when the World Cup was kind of on the horizon, I just said, while I was recording one of my poems in the studio, I just said, look, lads, I want to do Englishman in New York, like a version of it for the World Cup, because we're in America, the final's in New York. I was like, I got this idea. We can put Bellingham and Kane in the chorus. I was like, come on, let's just mess about and have a go. And it took us about an hour. And before you knew it, it's like, just took off. So, and the first video I put out, basically, my team was like, oh, we don't know, shouldn't. And I put it out and it got 1.2 million views straight away. And I was like, look, we have to do this now. Like, this is the time. And yeah, since then, it's just been like a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest.
Sonny, it's great that you turned to my fellow Geordie Sting for your inspiration, who actually went to my school a bit before my time, I have to say.
I don't know what he thinks. So
Has he heard it?
And it's probably best I don't. I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like, don't expect everyone to love the song, but he might do. But I'm not sure. So we'll see. I'm sure now it's in the charts and stuff. I'm going to hear from him at some point. And to be honest, it would be quite surreal. And if he's up for it, I think he should do the little dance with me, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If England win the World Cup, we got to do it, Sting. Let's do it, brother. So
You've got to
yeah,
stay
why
on the
not?
right. You got to stay on the right side of Sting, otherwise you send the police round, wouldn't he?
Whoa!
No, honestly, it's jokes like this all the time.
That's
We've had a whole summer of this, mate.
And all right, enough of the joke.
God, honestly, all of you lot, Jesus. Ask him a question, will ya?
Sonny, the atmosphere over here is amazing, obviously, but we're lacking a bit of knowledge on what it's like in the UK. So let us know, you know, tell us what it's like. Is everyone getting into it now? It felt like a bit of a slow start back home.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I think for me, it's like on match day, everyone kind of gets up for it, but we're having like these lulls in the week. And I think it's just because we can't sit in pubs and watch football all day at like from like midday. And the timing and the schedules is just like throwing everyone off. I'd have liked to seen a bit more like people, like years ago, I remember when the 2006 World Cup, I think I must have been about 12. And I just remember like the amount of every single car had them flags like da-da-da, and like it was just, I feel like we haven't quite reached those heights of World Cup fever, and it'll be nice, especially if we get through to the semi-finals, which I'm hopeful we will, that everyone just starts going absolutely mental for it. But yeah, I think we're getting there slowly but surely.
And what have you made of England? You were out here for the Panama game, of course, and went to the darts at Madison Square Garden where we were at. What have you made of England's performances?
I think they're getting better each game. Wouldn't you agree? Like, definitely getting better. Ghana was a bit of a disappointing game, wasn't it? A bit of a 0-0 bore draw. That didn't help getting everyone excited. But the last game for sure, doing what we done against Mexico, and just Bellingham. But it's Bellingham and Kane. They're like, really, this is their World Cup, right? And thank God that them boys are turning up and deciding to take hold of it, because that's what we need. And when you look at all the other big teams, I feel like every single team has got that kind of big player, you know. And Kane and Bellingham are doing it for us, with a few of the others popping up and doing their thing. So, yeah, it's just exciting. Norway is obviously, this is going to be like the pinnacle, really, isn't it? If we need to show up against Haaland and his mates, and hopefully we blow them out the ballpark, and we can then get excited, I suppose, we'll be playing Argentina. Then after that, it's just Mbappe and co. So I think they'll beat Spain. And then England-France final.
You get back out here for that?
Oh, well, that's the plan. I'd love to get back out here for that and see if I can get my hand on a very expensive ticket. Maybe you guys can.
Let's hope we're all doing the TikTok dance in the end at the MetLife behind the goal as England do it. Eh?
Let's do that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Just as we win, and then the final, Kane scores in the final, and he just does it just after he scores, and we just beat France 3-1 or something.
Good man. Well, look, Sonny Green there, gents. Thanks very much for joining us, Sonny.
Much love, guys. Have a great day.
That's absolutely brilliant stuff to have Sonny join us. What a song that is, by the way. I know every single one of you is absolutely sick and tired of me singing it relentlessly. But will you finally commit, as we've seen with Sonny's success, to doing a TikTok dance with me?
No. I just want to see you do it yourself, because it's so good, we couldn't match it.
But you two are far more well known than me.
If England win it, I'll do it, okay? Yeah, but I need to learn it first. Show us how it is.
Yeah. Ready? Whoa, we got Bellingham, it's coming and we're telling them we're Englishmen in New York. Whoa, we've got Harry Kane, he's gonna score again, we're Englishmen in New York.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
I'm pretty sure both of you could learn that easy enough. Listen, gentlemen, it's nearly Hawkston hydration break time. Before we tell everyone about the excellent tournament prize that we've got running, I just want to show you this clip that popped up on the Hawkston socials earlier on.
And the crowd are roaring, the British boys. Hold on, boys. The Italians are coming strong. We're up to the line. It's 50 metres. Can we hold it? Watch out for Italy. Great Britain on the line. Here we go. Just Great Britain get the gold medal.
Yeah, excellent content from our main sponsors, Hawkston there. Proper Football Daily, as you know, is brought to you in partnership with Hawkston, and we have teamed up for an excellent tournament prize. Head to the link in the description to this video to find out more and enter. You have to be over 18. Terms and conditions apply. Please drink responsibly, and let's get on with the second half of Proper
Football Daily.
Spain did Spain things again today against Belgium in the quarterfinals. 2-1, a couple of goalkeeping ricks, particularly the one from Senny Lemons, are probably going to take the headlines, the vast majority of the headlines around this game. It's one of those weird ones, isn't it? An excellent record for Spain now, unbeaten in 36 games. I think they're just one off Italy's all-time record of unbeaten run in competitive matches. It still wasn't one for the football fanatics, was it, Dino? Maybe the tactical purists like you.
Yeah, Mikel Merino looks pretty excited there, doesn't he? But,
He does.
But it's
I saw that in Newcastle.
But no, I mean, Tactics Exposed is your place for a full tactical analysis of that game. But yeah, look, they just, as you said there, Spain do Spain things, and no one will care in Spain, as we didn't care after the DR Congo game, really, or the next knockout game, or in the other games. As long as we keep going through, what does it matter? And that's what they'll feel in Spain. I don't care if one goes in off Harry Kane's backside against Norway, as long as England in the next round.
One of the most boring, successful teams I ever saw was Spain. 2008 Euros, 2010 World Cup, 2012 Euros. Absolutely sent you to sleep, but very, very successful. 1,000 passes every game. Wonderful. Everybody loved it, including people like Dino. And Roberto Martinez, who I remember having a big debate with about this very subject. He said, how can you not love what Spain do? They pass it, they keep the ball. wear you down. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. But it wasn't as a spectator sport. It was awful.
Hang on, you're the person who says to me that it's all about winning. And the other thing doesn't matter. Like,
but I like winning where you get in the mixer and you get
now you do.
No, winning. Honestly, I find it pretty dull, and they're not a lot different to that team. You cannot say that Spain have lit up this World Cup. You can't. We're still waiting for even people like Lamine Yamal to really excite us, as we know he can, and it just hasn't happened yet.
But all that Spain team, they were full of superstars, right? And it felt, and some characters as well. I mean, Sergio Ramos and Carlos Puyol, the centre defensive pairing. Obviously, the superstar midfield, Xavi and Iniesta and Busquets. Yeah. You sort of, it feels like this team lacks a bit of that. I'm surprised to hear you say it was boring, because at the time it felt like we were sort of watching this football marvel.
Have you seen a show reel of Spain from that time? Does anybody ever get it out and say, "Whoa, look at this! This is fantastic"?
The Spaniards might.
They might do, but genuinely, did you enjoy that sort of football?
Everyone appreciated them more, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think to sort of cut between that, if Spain go out to France in the semi-final, we will forget all about them. There was no other. There's no other thing. Nothing else from the tournament. Yeah. Whereas when we've seen other teams through the tournament to this date, we've got absolute moments, brilliance. All of those sort of things to draw on. Whereas with Spain, it's been 2 Mikel Merino tap-ins. But if they go home as winners, we'll be talking about it, won't we?
It's giving Greece winning Euro 2004 to me. Is that fair? Because I was only 12.
Greece 2004 was amazing. I was there, and that was a great underdog story. That's up there with Leicester City. Yeah,
that was unremarkable football, right?
It was unremarkable football. It was soak it up, but it was real. Soak it up, backs to the wall, 25% possession, and we'll try and hit them on a break now and again or from a set piece. That's what it was about, with a lot of players who wouldn't make many Premier League first teams. They had a couple, but not many. And that was a great underdog story. Spain aren't underdogs. Spain are one of the great football forces.
True.
They're just a bit dull.
Dino, I know we've done it on Tactics Exposed. Head on over and watch it after you've got to the end of this episode of Proper Football Daily. When people are looking at Spain and going, "Oh, they're unexciting, they're unremarkable," are they, or is this exactly how De La Fuente wants them to play? Is there more to come, something perhaps a little bit more exciting to the neutral, or is just this his plan to get them to lift the trophy?
I don't think there's more to come. I think it's similar to France. Like the two managers, Deschamps and De La Fuente, have basically said, this is what I've got and this is how I'm going to put the jigsaw pieces together.
Sure.
And that, to this point, they're both in the semi-final, so it's working, isn't it? I think France are heavy favourites for that semi-final, despite Spain being the football force. However, would anyone stick their neck out and say that Spain aren't going to win the next game with 65% possession and pass France into, bore them to tears, as you say? Yeah,
no, absolutely not. I can see it. I know what you mean. I mean, they're incredibly resilient with the possession as well. Incredibly difficult to break down. In fact, it was a bit of a shock that Belgium scored, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. The first goal they conceded in the tournament,
Yeah, and look, nobody can deny they're an excellent team. They're just not box office, are they?
No.
Are they?
No, I quite agree. But then I suppose it depends if you're Spanish, you wouldn't care about that, would you?
No,
I don't suppose. Anyway, brilliant episode of Proper Football Daily, lads. A couple of great guests. Obviously, the two GOAT guests in front of me, which I was most excited about. Thanks for watching this episode of Proper Football Daily, and we'll see you next time.